that seek a better future for not only their people, but for the region and for the world. I don't know. I know what decision the United States is making. And we're choosing to stand with the freedom of navigation. We're choosing to stand with international law. We're choosing to stand with our partners as we move forward. So we're giving the UN and the Security Council another chance, get back to basics, to uphold these basic principles, to build on 2817, Resolution 2817, passed without opposition in this council with 136 co-sponsors. And we'll see what the council decides to do in the days to come. Thank you, and I hand off Ambassador Mohammed.
Thank you, Ambassador Waltz. Just following on the points made by my colleagues, I'd like to focus on why this draft resolution is important and necessary at this critical time. The draft resolution reinforces established international law. International waterways cannot be controlled through coercion, attacks, or threats against civilian and commercial shipping. The Strait of Hormuz is one of the world's most strategic maritime choke points, and what happens there affects global trade, energy markets, shipping routes, supply chains, food security, and economic stability. For months, Iran has continued attacks and threats against merchant and commercial vessels, interfered with lawful navigation, placed sea mines in and around the Strait of Hormuz, and attempted to impose illegal tolls on international shipping. Since 28 February, according to the International Maritime Organization, at least 32 commercial vessels have been targeted, killing innocent seafarers and leaving an estimated 2,000 ships and approximately 20,000 personnel stranded. These actions did not stop following the adoption of Resolution 2817. The violations continued, and threats against maritime security and regional stability persist. In fact, earlier this week, a vessel affiliated with the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company was directly targeted, underscoring the real and ongoing risks these attacks pose to civilian shipping and global energy supplies. This is why the elements contained in our draft resolution are important. First, the resolution demands the disclosure and removal of sea mines placed in and around the Strait of Hormuz. This will be essential to restore safe and unimpeded navigation through the strait. Second, the resolution rejects the imposition of illegal tolls and interference with freedom of navigation and lawful transit passage. International waterways must not be subjected to coercion, extortion, or conditional passage imposed by force. Third, the resolution supports the establishment of a humanitarian corridor to facilitate the movement of aid, fertilizer, and other essential goods through the strait. These measures are practical and necessary steps responding to the reality of ongoing threats and attacks by Iran in the Strait of Hormuz. While the draft resolution does not give any authorization or impose sanctions on Iran, by acting under Chapter 7, the Council would make clear that its decisions in this resolution are binding and that the Council is serious about them, and that it may consider further measures if its decisions are not implemented. Our resolution is essentially about the implementation of international law, the protection of civilian shipping, and preserving stability in a strategic international waterway. It also recognizes the broader economic and humanitarian impact of these disruptions, including on fertilizer supplies, agricultural production, food security, and vulnerable economies dependent on maritime trade. We look to all responsible states in the international community to support this resolution, just as they overwhelmingly supported Resolution 2817. Thank you, and I'll pass it to my colleague, Sheikh Alia.
Dear members of the press, thank you so much for joining us today. Let me begin by, of course, thanking my colleagues, Ambassador Jamal Al-Rouei and Ambassador Mike Waltz, for leading the efforts in the Security Council as the primary sponsors of the draft resolution on the situation in the Strait of Hormuz that will soon be presented to the Council. The State of Qatar, of course, is pleased to support and co-sponsor. As outlined by our colleagues, this resolution is of great importance. It is essential in responding to the closure of the Strait of Hormuz by the Islamic Republic of Iran since March, which prompted severe economic impacts across the Gulf Cooperation Council countries, as well as globally. The State of Qatar has warned that the closure of the strait would transform the process from a regional to a global one due to its connection to the energy sector, supply and logistic chains, export and re-export operations, and its impact on various aspects of life worldwide. This is what we have seen unfolding as it disrupted 20% of global oil and LNG trade, as well as over 20,000 seafarers remain stranded at sea. The situation not only jeopardizes global economic stability and energy security, but also worsens humanitarian crises and undermines regional stability, posing a genuine threat to international peace and security. Ensuring that the strait remains open to navigation is not only a demand set forth by the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, Security Council Resolution 552 of 1984, and Security Council Resolution 2817, but it's a shared international responsibility. The State of Qatar has continuously as well stressed its appreciation for the efforts by the Islamic Republic of Iran and all parties involved in mediation and good offices that contributes to reaching a ceasefire between the United States of America and the Islamic Republic of Iran. Let me conclude by saying that we look forward to continuing our engagement intensively with member states to secure the support for this timely Security Council resolution on guaranteeing the freedom of navigation while protecting maritime waterways. And I thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. And in addition to what has been mentioned by my colleagues, I would like just to emphasize that the Strait of Hormuz remains a vital artery of global trade, and any disruption to its security is a matter of serious international concern. Recent developments in the Strait have heightened tensions and risk significant humanitarian, economic, and security consequences. Disruptions to marine transit are affecting global energy markets and hindering the delivery of essential goods, including food, medical supplies, and humanitarian assistance, with particular severe consequences for vulnerable and import-dependent countries. These developments underscore the urgent need to prevent further escalation and to safeguard the stability and security of this critical waterway. In this context, the draft resolution calls for immediate and coordinated international action to de-escalate tensions, ensure the free and safe flow of maritime trade and humanitarian assistance, restore stability to global markets, and protect affected populations. Now I would like to invite my colleague Faisal, please.
Thank you, Ambassador. Good afternoon. At the outset, we express our appreciation to the Kingdom of Bahrain and the United States of America for leading this important effort, as well as to all co-sponsors of Resolution 2817. The broad support for this initiative reflects a shared commitment, a shared international conviction that freedom of navigation, the safety of maritime routes, and respect for international law are all collective responsibilities directly linked to the maintenance of international peace and security. From a legal and political standpoint, the State of Kuwait believes that the importance of this draft resolution lies in reaffirming a fundamental principle of the international order, that international waterways must remain open and secure and must not be subjected to threats, coercion, or unlawful restrictions. Any attempt to obstruct lawful passage through the Strait of Hormuz or to threaten navigation in it goes beyond a regional concern and carries wider implications for the integrity of the rules governing international navigation. The State of Kuwait emphasizes that this draft resolution is not intended to escalate tensions or undermine the sovereignty of states. Rather, it seeks to reaffirm the balance established under international law between the rights of coastal states and the rights of the international community to safe and lawful navigation, while rejecting any actions that endanger commercial shipping or threaten maritime security. This initiative also builds upon the established approach of the Security Council, including Resolution 552, which affirmed the close connection between maritime security in the Gulf and the maintenance of international peace and security. In this regard, the draft resolution represents an important message in support of respect for international law and the credibility of the Council's resolutions. The State of Kuwait believes that a clear and united international position contributes to preventing further escalation, safeguarding safe passage, and reinforcing stability and compliance with international law. Thank you very much.
Ambassador Wilson, Ambassador Abdullahi.
Thank you so much. We'll take the question in a different meeting.